All right, so let's break down Rodden's email strategy. First thing I want to go over is their sending cadence. This is easily the most. This is the easily the biggest constraint of the business. Easily, they're sending 2 to 3 emails a month. Extremely low cadence of emails. Now, granted, maybe mill.com isn't getting a lot of their emails for some reason. That does happen. But I subscribe to their emails and I don't get many of their emails either, so I don't know. But this is easily the biggest thing that they could do to, I mean, I'm talking like 4 or 5x the amount of revenue they're getting from their emails. Send 2 to 3 emails a week, especially for a brand like Rodden. By the way, I'm going to give compliments. I'm going to break down their emails. I don't, crap on them or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, just from the get go, this is easily the most important thing that they could do to make a lot more money. So for your brand, if you're sending 2 to 3 emails a month, try to send 2 to 3 emails a week. I mean, honestly, you'd be better off sending 3 to 4, right? I mean, one email every other day. That's a lot better. Especially for a brand like Rodden, people are gonna be needing those emails because it is a consumable product that people are gonna buy multiple times. So just keep that into consideration. Again, good rule of thumb is 5,000 profiles or higher, and then it really depends on revenue. I mean, I would say at the very minimum like 10K a month, but then I mean realistically it'd be better off. You could make a lot more money percentage wise, like 40% of revenue from emails, 50% of revenue from emails if you're closer to like 25K a month. But that's my disclaimer. Anyways, that's for the email cadence. Don't take inspiration from that. But as far as the strategy goes, they go very hard, which is good. I will give them props for this on building the universe around the brand. Now, I speak a lot about this on bigger brands like Dr. Swatch does a really good job on this. I think Olipop does a really good job on this. And there's a lot of brands that are a lot bigger. They have lot of funding, and specifically, they have a lot of resources in terms of like partnerships and collaborations that allows them to do a lot of brand building as far as their universe goes. But Routed is a perfect example. Think about your own brand. Do you guys have a lot of mascots? Does your brand have a lot of partnerships with influencers, right? Or maybe like a lot of collaborations. If you do, a great strategy to having your in your email strategy is building that universe, right? Making people feel like it's not just a normal product, but it's a real brand with a personality to it. So the strategy is building a universe around the product. Now, I'm going to take you through 3 different types of emails they do to incorporate the strategy. The first one I'm going to talk to you about is drop-based emails. Let me pull up those examples right now. All right, first email we're going to be going over is the Sprouts Farmers Market email. So this is a drop-based email, and drops doesn't specifically have to be just a new product drop. It could also be a new location that you're going to, a new retailer, new retailer. Official freak news: rotten worms have infiltrated Sprouts Farmer Market. Nationwide, you will now be able to find our original gummy crunchies and sour gummy crunchies in stores near you. Now, a quick thing. Some people may think, oh, well, if somebody, reads an email, what are the chances that they're actually going to go ahead and check it out in Sprouts? I first tried Rotten in real life through Sprouts. Now, if I saw this email, I guaranteed you I would have been looking for it way faster and way sooner than I otherwise have. But that's the first place I tried it. So, granted, when you're making your own emails, show people the new places you're going to be at. Show the new drops. Are you going to be in Walmart? Are you going to be in Sprouts? What are some of the locations you're going to be in? Especially if you're heavily expanding to new retailers. So great email to do. Very simple email. Don't overcomplicate it. Just say, hey, here's the place we're in. Here's why. You could build a universe around it. They did a great job having the different mascots. I think they killed it with that. And you could use for your own brand. Next one I'm going to be breaking down is a little different. So these next 3 emails I'm going to show you are hyping up a drop. Now, I will give them kudos to this because they did a very good job on this. A mistake I see brands sometimes make is that they'll have this new product drop, or they'll have this new product, and then the product drop that they'll do is like one email, or maybe they'll do like an email and an SMS. But no, for context, and I'm gonna break down Rodden's, but I just want to tell you this story. For one of our brands, they went out of stock, and they were finally back in stock. So it's not like a new drop, but it was a new stock email. So that's another great email you could do. We hyped that new product drop so hard, we practically sold out that batch in pre-orders. Just I just want to fully conceptualize that. Some people just, they do the product drop on the day of and they're like, oh, the product is released. We did it so that when the product released, there was like 10% of the product left, of the batch left. So it just goes to show the power of hyping up the emails. Now, what we did is we did like pretty much like 3/4 of a month hyping up that pre-drop, because we had no product at that point. But that's a great way to do it. And then essentially what we did is we did like I think it was maybe like 8 total emails, or maybe 7 emails that we did, maybe a little less, a little more, probably a little less. Emails hyping up that product, and we all we did is we had different. We pretty much got people to visualize what the product will be like. So what we did is email think of emails that like, oh, here's how to best use the. I'm not gonna say the product name or the brand, but it's basically like, hey, here's how to use the product when you actually have it. Here's the top 5 reasons people love the product. It's essentially like a normal email strategy, but you're just framing it with a pre-drop, and that gets people kind of that urgency, like, oh, it's gonna release. And the most important thing I'm gonna say about this before I get to the Rodden thing is, um, have a not a countdown, yeah, essentially have a countdown of the amount of product you have, and then just lower it every single time you send an email. Obviously, try to match it up with the the actual number of products you have left. But if you have a maybe you're having like a limited time batch of 1,000 different products, or 1,000 batches or whatever, on email number one, maybe sell 50. And email number two, maybe sell 150. Every email show, hey, the countdown's getting from 1,000 to 950 to 800 to 700 to 500 to 300 to the very last email we send out, or to the actual drop email we did. It was like 24 out of like 1,000 of the product that we have. And then that sold out like incredibly well. So I just want to give you an idea of what a drop could look like on another brand. But for Rodden, they did Something's Coming, and then they obviously had the actual the mascot, and then obviously they had like a little poster making it look a little bit more engaging. Rodden coming soon to a Sprouts near you. Now you could also just not reveal the new retailer or the brand or whatever the drop is, but in this case they did. They were like, hey, we're going to be in a Sprouts near you, but they did a phenomenal job. They forgot they were dealing with Frankie, and they were building that universe around it. Right? We can't keep this creation contained much longer, etc., etc. So great email for this one. The next two are I think were tie-in. So breaking news: spicy sour gummies crunchies just escaped the lab. And they were essentially saying like, hey, the Rotten Clone's latest experiment is on the loose, and our eyebrows are only a little singed. Who gave Frankie a flamethrower? They're sour, they're spicy, made with real peppers, ready to ignite your taste buds. You're going to want to try this. And then they show the product. Very, very important thing, and I keep saying this in other videos as well, is show the actual physical product. Kind of that continuum I told you about, how first you have reviews of just a testimonial, then you have testimonial with the person, there's testimonial with the person using the product. It's also like this: if you could physically show the amount of value they're going to get, not only one product, but if you could see there's multiple different of the bags in the back, kind of like a actual like display. Great way to show your product and get people to visualize it, especially in bundles. Does a great job. But another great email just showing like, hey, breaking news that actually, we're making a new drop. It's a new product. You can order it now. And then the last email I want to show you is I think this is a phenomenal email, and this is why I love Rod. I think they do an amazing job with this. The man behind the spice, and then they actually put personality and they humanize the brand. Jed, I hope I said his name right. Perkins manages Rodden's farm in Central California, using time-tested techniques to ensure every pepper is picked at its peak for a perfect balance of spice and flavor. And then they go a little bit more in depth, taste the difference, and then they show the products and a little bit more unique selling points made with real peppers, etc., etc. But the main point of this is they're humanizing the brand. If you source, or let me rephrase, if you work with farmers, or if you support maybe like veterans, right? Maybe like you have an apparel brand, and you maybe like make a like partnership with veterans. I don't know, something like that. Humanize the brand, have an actual face behind it, and it doesn't always have to be the founder. It could be you could just follow one specific farmer that works with you, and you're like, hey, here's the story of the farmer. Here's how he makes the plant. The plants for us to use the product, or to put into the product. Here's how process works. Here's how his methods are, and then people start realizing it's not just a normal corporate brand that unfortunately some brands they use child labor. No, we are a ethical brand, ethically sourced made ingredients, and you're humanizing the brand. So whenever you can, make a product drop, but also show the human behind that product drop. So very great email. They did a great job on this. But the only thing I would have liked to see more of is go hard on like the release and the pre-release. So I would have said like, you could honestly, they could probably made pre-orders as well. But even if they didn't, they could have just hyped up the drop a little bit more because if you go to the actual calendar, I mean, they were doing basically where they did this email on November 21st, then the November 17th, and then before that they were doing kind of like random emails 24th, 22nd, 17th. They were doing a little bit more emails on October. I could only imagine why. It's October, Halloween. But the point is, I would have liked to see a little bit more emails hyping up the drop of the sour gummy crunchy just to keep the lab. I would like to see that more. But anyways, I digress. That is the first email type of email. Let me go to the next one. The next type of emails they do is universe building emails. So what are these emails? They build the universe around the brand. Now I'm going to tell you how you could do this for your own specific brand. Maybe you're like, man, I don't have many mascots. I don't have any of this. That's fine. I'm going to tell you how to do it in your own brand, your own brand. But let me break down Rodden's first. Rodden Labs update, right? Here's the founder. I believe his name is Michael. Shout out Michael. Discover Rodden deals, and I'm going to read for you just so you understand the kind of the aspect I'm trying to promote. I am sad to hello Grubbies. I am sad to announce Dr. Rodden slipped on a banana peel and will be out until further notice. However, I am proud to share that Seymour Slugs, Director of Inhuman Resources, will be stepping in for Dr. Rodden on all future communications until I grow tired of this new role. I will be here for as much as I can, noting that I am not a doctor, but I will do my very best. Warm regards, Seymour Slugs. Now, this is the whole point of this email is just to build a brand. Like there's not like I thought when I first read it, I thought I'm like, okay, well maybe they're gonna tie it up with like maybe like a product drop from Seymour Slugs or like a new mascot. No, literally all it is just this. Now obviously they promote some deals like say my Sour Soul and then the different products that they have, but the whole email is just about this. Now I would have liked to pair it up with something a little bit different because I think it's a little weird just having universe building email and that by itself, it looks a little like vague and a little bland. I would like to pair it or have a reason why I'm writing that email. Maybe like, hey, maybe Seymour Slugs. By the way, I dropped this new product, and here it is, or I endorse this new product, or something creative for them is they could have been like, hey, I infiltrated the factory. Now the normal sour gummies are spicy sour gummies. That's a random example, but that's something they could have done. But the point of it is building a universe around the brand. Great email to do for that. So think about your own brand. You could do a text-based email as well, and maybe I would have included the mascot to give a little bit more personality. But anyways, that's that. Next one, last call for mutated worms. Halloween deadline approaching. This is more like a holiday email. For like Halloween, the best deal in rotten history, promoting the sour rotten gummies, all that. But the main point I wanted to point out is that last call for mutated worms. They're going very heavily on the universe, on building that universe. It's mutated worms. We're disgusting. We're sour. We're sticky, but still tasty. And that's the whole point of the email. So I wanted to show you this. A very, very small aspect, but it's still important to note. And then the last one is something spooky happened in the lab. Our sour worms got mutated. They're safe to eat, just weird looking, so we're offering them for half the price. Now, very, very important email. Um, as you could tell, this is like a real mistake. So, as you could tell, sticky but tasty. I'm sure that they actually had, and if this is part of the product, that's great. But if not, this is a great example to use. Maybe there was a malfunction in the factory, and all the gummies are still like super like sticky, and they're not good anymore. If that's the case, then what they did is they went with it, and they said, "Hey, they're safe. They're safe to eat, just weird looking, so we're offering them for half the price." So if you have a product that maybe something went wrong, maybe you sell chocolates and maybe the chocolates came out looking weird or maybe they were dyed a certain way or maybe maybe the texture is weird or anything like that, you could say, hey, instead of just throwing them away and letting all that good product go to waste, like maybe just a malfunction with the brand or with the machine or something, you could say, hey, we're offering this product. It's a little messed up, but incorporate that with the brand. Perfect example is Rotten. They're sticky but still tasty, right? Um, but because of that, we're offering them for half price. They're exactly the same, but we wanted to give you an opportunity. And sometimes you don't even have or snacking or smacking or something like that, the nut brand or the sunflower seed brand, that they had a mistake on their production facility or something like that, and then they basically said that it was gonna the flavor or the way the product was produced was very messed up. But because of that, they told everyone in their email list, hey, the product is messed up, but because of that, we're offering it at X% off. Or in your case, you could say we don't even have to offer percentage off. You could say we're gonna treat this as a limited edition batch. You could do that instead of just saying, "Oh, it went around." Hey, we're making a limited edition thing, and you can make that like a flash sale, limited edition, weird looking M&Ms or whatever the case may be, and then you promote it. But don't think of it like, oh, I'm only gonna let the product go to waste. No, build a universe around the brand while obviously using the maybe the bad products that you may have. And then that way people actually think it's something good and not bad. But anyways, that's the second type of email, building universe around the brand, and then you can pair it up with a lot of different things. Last email is relatability emails. Now, relatability emails you could do. It's not really a type of email as much as it is a the point of an email or something you could do in an email. Relatability emails you could tie up with like anything, back to school routines, fun facts, brain teasers, anything like that. But the main point of it is you make the emails relatable. And how do you do that? For Rodden, the perfect back to school snack, better for you and disturbingly delicious. So they're relating it to the customer. Right? A lot of people who buy Rodden, maybe they're buying it for their kids. Some people are in school, maybe they just want it for a snack. They're using the after school or the back to school season to say, hey, here's Rodden, here's a chance to buy the here's a chance to buy the product. And they just make it relatable to their customers. Think about your own customers. What's something that they celebrate? What's something that they do? What's something that they want to have happen? Think about how you could pair your own brand with those things. Another example that they did, we can't help with the gym. I thought that was a great email. We can't help with the gym, but we can't handle the candy. Candy on autopilot. It's okay, but we are here to help you keep. We're here to help keep you on track. We've got candy good enough to be considered habit forming. There's a doctor out there who recommends monthly doses of freakishly delicious candy to keep spirits high. We believe in his mission, so we're offering 10% off all subscriptions, so you can have a steady stream of candy all year. Now, what's something people can relate to? People who buy Rodden don't buy Rodden because, well, a lot of people buy Rodden because it's great. By the way, I've tried Rodden, easily the best CPG product I've tasted. Probably top five, easily. Maybe top three, easily top three. Maybe number one. It was phenomenal. I really do suggest trying them. They're great. Excuse me, but not only for taste, but another reason people buy Rotten is because of the health aspect. They're super good. No, I don't know if they're super good for you, but they're a lot better considered to maybe it's like nerds or something like that. I think like 120 calories and like very low sugar. So the point is, it's saying, hey, your New Year's resolution. A lot of our customers celebrate, have a New Year's resolution. They're probably going to want to stick to it. How are some of the, what are some of the ways we could help them? And then we're saying like, hey, New Year's resolutions have started. Although we can't help in the gym, maybe we can't, you can't lift literal our gummies at the gym. But what you can do is have us and consume us for a healthier snack instead of maybe having some type of like worse snack, maybe like Nerds or M&Ms or like Lay's chips or something like that, right? So a great way to use it. Last one I want to show you is stock up for Valentine's Day. Again, relatability is in one specific email as it is like a strategy. So think about you could use seasonal emails, holiday emails, the ones I told you before, but you're just making it relatable. Stock up for Valentine's Day. What's something people are going to be wanting to do? Well, they're going to want to give Rodden or at least some type of candy, right? And maybe like a bundle to a loved one, someone they love. So what is Rodden doing? Stock up for Valentine's Day. You could buy our crunchies, you could buy our sour gummies, you could buy our sour crunchy gummies for your Valentine's Day person, the person you love. And here's a sale: 20% off all orders, no minimum. 25% off orders above $100, and for 30% off orders above $200. I like this little layout. A great way to stack up the value, kind of like a tiered system for discounts. But the point is, very great email to do. Make it relatable to the customers. Hey, it's Valentine's Day. A lot of our customers are going to celebrate that. How can we pair it up with them? And then I love this little part for the one who's always asking, would you still love me if I was a worm? And they link, some of those products. For the ones who keep asking to put a ring on it, I would make this one a little bit more relatable, but this one's so funny. I absolutely love this. Put a ring on it, right? And then the thing. Great email. And then obviously who has everything except this. I think these two I love, this one and this one. This one I think they could have paired up with something a little bit better. Who tells me someone for the one who tells me I'm disgusting or something like that, right? And then make it like a joke on it. But anyways, those are the emails I wanted to break down. I want to break down one more email for you, kind of like a bonus. And this one is well, you're about to see. So this email is, I think, the best email they've sent out. Not in terms of the design. I think the design is really, honestly, kind of bad. But as far as the concept goes, this is a perfect definition of a valuetainment piece of content. It's a valuetainment email. Let's go through it. Shocking discovery. 98% of candy contains what? A study by PubMed showed 98% of U.S. candy contains petroleum, petroleum derived or artificial dyes like red 40, yellow 5, and blue 1. Here at Rodden Labs, we're not about that. We keep all our candy artificial dye free, shop Rodden, and then to switch to dye free candy, a little bit more information, etc., etc. And then testimonials. Concept wise, this is a perfect value tainment email. And why do I bring this up? I really wish Rodden did more of this type of more of these emails, right? Giving value, giving statistics, showing graphs, showing articles, maybe having comparison charts, maybe just having graphs as a whole. Any email that gives value, especially with a brand like Rodden, think about your own brand, right? Like what are some of the if your own brand is a better for you candy or better for you snack or whatever the case may be, or you have a lot of things going for you as far as like graphs go, like you easily defeat your competitors and maybe size and maybe taste, more tangible things. So maybe like size, protein, creatine, calories, sugar, etc., etc. Great emails to do is value taming emails. I highly suggest it, and I'll link a video at the end of this video to value taming emails so you could see different examples. But I really wish they did more of this. So what are some of the action steps you could take? Let me make this a little bit bigger. Number one, build your universe around your brand. Now, how do I do this? I told you I was going to tell you. Think about influencers, drops, mascots, fans, anything that could take kind of the here's what universe is. Anything that could take the brand outside of just the product is building your universe. A lot of brands, they just focus on just the product themselves, but you could take them outside of it. Anything that's just not the product, the farmers who make the product, the different influencers who collab with us, the different retail spots we've been in, the fact that we've donated 40% of sales in the past of this specific product to veterans, or maybe we collaborated with this with this influencer, this UGC creator, or maybe this celebrity used our product. That's building a universe around the brand. So those like 8 ideas, whatever I gave you, 5 different ideas I gave you, use them. Those are perfect examples. Use them and use them for your own brand and build a universe around it. Number two, hype up your drops. Something they did okay, but I really wish they did a little bit more in depth, is hyping up your drops. If you're going to a new location, the location's not so much because it's kind of like a one-time thing, unless it's something huge, like maybe like going nationwide on Walmart or maybe Sprouts, like they did. But especially for product drops, if you're having a new product that's going to be a new thing, it's going to be big, hype it up with multiple different emails. Don't just have one email, hype it up with multiple ones. And you could just, I'll probably make a video on how to actually do this and the strategy we did for this specific brand. But sometimes you could blow up the product. Sometimes you could say it's a limited supply. Sometimes you could say it's a limited supply for this very first batch, but there's multiple batches coming. Anything like that, hype up the drop. Number three, make your content relatable. I think they did a pretty good job with this, and they made the content relatable. They made it fun. Made it with holidays and seasons, most of their customers will probably celebrate. So make your content relatable. And lastly, two most important things that they could have done better, and I really hope and I pray that they do. Um, Send more emails out. There's 2 to 3 a month. Send 2 to 3 a week. Send 3 to 4. I would be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they bumped it up to 3 to 4 emails a week. They would probably be closer to 40-50% of all the direct to consumer revenue to come from their email and SMS marketing. And honestly, they could probably get 40%, maybe even 50% of their sales to come from repeat purchases. So send more emails out. And secondly, send more value-tainment content out. Not just content as a whole, but value-tainment content, showing graphs, showing statistics, showing articles, anything to get people to say, like, man, this is actually a really dope brand. They have a lot of features and benefits and unique selling points that I otherwise wouldn't have known of. You're showing them in your emails. Hope that video helped, guys. God bless you. All love. And talk to you soon.